Hey everyone, it's your favorite Jedi, BMF Goddess. Here today, I wanted to chat about the recent climb in violent crime and attacks in New York City. I was gonna speak about the subways and what's been going on in the MTA, but the truth is, violent crime is on the rise all over New York City right now, with recent attacks against the Asian community following the pandemic and a series of violent robberies, murders, shootings as well. You know, it's all put a real strong feeling of uneasiness in the atmosphere, to be honest. According to many people I have personally asked their opinions on the matter, even when you're just traveling outside from one point to the other, there's this tense feeling in the air because of everything that's been going on. And the slightest thing that could happen, it could be just another crazy person on the train. It'll make you feel more nervous than it used to because of what's been going on in the news, and all the murders that are being reported, and gunfire. It's crazy out here. Like, it hasn't been this bad in quite some time, and it doesn't seem to be getting any better lately. It's kind of on a little seesaw kind of thing. I myself agree that I feel I must be extra aware of my surroundings now, especially because of what happened to me not that long ago. It was a Friday afternoon, like around 4 p.m. I would say maybe a month and a half ago. Anyway, I was just getting off work and the bus was extra late, so naturally it was crowded. And I attempted to get on the bus when this guy refused to move over for no reason. He was just being a jerk. There was ample space for him to move, and he was just being an asshole. So BMF Goddess doesn't do good with that. You give me attitude or want to be an asshole, I don't bow down to no one. So I said, okay, well, I'm getting on this bus. So I just shoved my way in. He started cursing me out and calling me a bitch and whatever stupidity came to his head. I just laughed it off. He kept going and going. Like, he even got on the phone with someone and continued to talk shit. So that's when I went off at my mouth. And just so we're clear, my mouth is venomous. I can and will completely assault someone with my words, to the point that, either they cry or they want to fight me. And that's just how it is. So, I seen dude go for a knife he had clipped to his pocket. And that's when two men from the other side of the bus started moving towards us, yelling at the man who was, yelling at this dude who was about to pull a knife. And at that point, I was like, I didn't get scared or nothing, but I was like, I need to move because I don't know what he's going to do. And I didn't have anything on me at the time, So, this guy was big too, okay? He wasn't no little guy. Like, he towered over me. But he did get fearful of the other two guys, and he actually got off the bus. I don't even want to think about what may have happened if those two guys weren't on the bus and stepped up for me. There were other people on the bus cursing at him too, because they all witnessed the idiotic behavior he was, and my story is nothing compared to all the people out there getting stabbed and killed, or pushed to the tracks and robbed and beaten. As someone who grew up on the streets, I can say I know for a fact there have never they have never been safe. But they have been better than they have been as of late. It's depressing, in my opinion, how we hurt and kill one another. Like the world isn't fucked up enough, or life isn't hard or short enough, that we have to add to each other's pain. In the event of a true apocalypse, this world would be completely in disarray because nobody would actually work together. But hey, this is the world we live in. All you really can do is try to live your best. Live your best life every day and be a good person and just be safe. Check on your loved ones and protect your children. But tomorrow's never promised, man. People will waste too much time on fucking stupid shit. And life is gone in the blink of an eye. We all know this. Now, after the George Floyd killing, a series of police-involved shootings over the last few years have eroded trust in the police across the county. In the 4 to 6 familiar neighborhoods have become hostile. They have become hostile grounds for police, turning officers into targets in communities they know and even may have grew up in. I would say, the commanding officer of the 46th precinct, Joseph Seminara, said words matter. Like, I think a small element here that's making quality of life miserable for the hardworking community, feeling emboldened that it's okay to ignore a lawful command by police. It's okay to fight police. Words matter. The growing animosity creates real dangers for the officers on the street. We've had people threaten us, to kill us, threaten our families. Officer Rosado said, I hope your family dies. I hope your family gets raped. Like stuff like that we're supposed to brush off. And I can imagine it's pretty tough. This environment it actually has a it has a debilitating effect on the rank and file. The NYPD actually is now shedding more officers than recruiting new ones. Some are retiring early or just simply leaving the force. Officers say that is partly a problem of morale, but you know what? It's also part of the problem now. Will Americans still want to defund or even reform the police if violent crime is on the rise? Anxiety about violent crime is often used to win elections. Like, police and politicians routinely share misleading, out-of-context crime statistics to advance in their agendas. For those of you that don't know this, fear-mongering about rising crime has also been used for decades to undermine Black Americans' protests for civil rights. So it's important to ask, is this homicide increase actually significant, and how much evidence is there for any of the explanations about why killings are growing up? You have to think about it from all angles. But either way, it's still crazy out here. New York has become the first state in the U.S. to declare an emergency to tackle increasing levels of gun violence, directing extra funds for programs aimed at preventing shootings and everything. Most people are now dying from gun violence and crime than COVID. And that came from actually the governor's mouth, Governor Cuomo. Even President Joe Biden has promised to renew efforts to tackle crime in the U.S. as a series of major cities experiencing spikes in violence offenses. So, So far in 2021, the city has seen 931 victims of gun violence, compared to 762 during the same time last year, marking a 22% increase in the number of shooting victims. That's a lot, man. Brooklyn is on a pace to nearly match 2020's number of shooting victims in 2021, as 306 people have already been shot in Kings County, compared with 307 last year. And that's according to NYPD stats. You know, the rise in violent crime has sparked a widespread concern among the public, with the topic becoming the number one issue among voters, and a hefty 46% of those surveyed chose crime or violence as their main concern. There, we have family, we have, elder family, our elders, our grandmothers and grandfathers afraid to walk the streets. Everybody feels like they gotta carry something. And honestly, I don't leave without me carrying nothing. I've always been that way, but now even extra, I carry more with me, because you just gotta be prepared. I'm not saying everybody go get a gun. First of all, in New York City, it is not legal to carry firearms. So I'm not saying go out and get a gun. No. Get your little mace, your pepper spray, your maybe your little tiny little blade. You didn't hear that here, but something, and stay alert everywhere. I know a lot of us, including myself, like to be on the headset listening to music. I definitely like to drown out the rest of the world when I'm traveling, but you gotta pay attention. If you walking or whatever, pay attention. Take one ear out. If you're on the train, watch your back. Sit somewhere where you can see everything. And if you're sitting by the door, people, and you're on your phone, you're a total magnet for a robbery. Just don't do it. Even though, it's happened to people sitting in the middle. It doesn't matter. But that's another thing. You should have just get snatched up. You have to be alert. As a community, the things that we can do as far as making things better is just trying to look out for each other. Those of us not out there shooting people, try to look out for each other. Try to have a little more compassion and empathy for your fucking neighbors. Like, we New York, yeah, we tough, yeah, everybody's assholes, but fucking, this is our place of dwelling. Take care of it. Take care of each other. You would think something so simple could be that simple. Unfortunately, not on this planet. Pero, ya tú sabes, esas son las cosas aquí. Like I said before, you can only be so safe, Hopefully, we get our shit together. We've done it before. I would say 3 years. Excuse me. I would say 3 years prior to this, we were actually doing so great when it came to the crime. I was actually reading about how much crime had lowered. Like, the crime rate was really low, and it was the lowest in our history. For just a few years later, for it to be this, it's crazy. I mean, all things considering, the pandemic and all these police shootings, and that's another thing, man. Yeah, there's a lot of fucked up people out there. There's a lot of fucked up cops out there. And you can never know which one is really on your side, but the extra violence is not helping. It's not helping us. It's not doing anything but making shit worse. And I could totally empathize with the rage that people have because of those policemen who are involved in these shootings, these wrongful shootings and killings. If it were my own, I would feel the same. I would want them to die or pay for what the fuck they did. But the violence, the more violence, is like Martin Luther King said. I'm going to take a page out of his book. The violence is not the answer. But I'm not gonna sit here and preach. I do hope things get better for the world as a whole. But definitely more in New York, because right now we're paving the way for the future. The future of the younger generation who's learning from all of this. And that's the bigger picture. Even the people out there shooting people and doing, and committing these crimes, you guys got families too. You're not thinking about the ripple effect long term. What it's doing, what are you showing? What's happening to the youth? If anything should be rising, it should be education. It should be graduations. The number of people graduating, the number of people in successful jobs and careers. The economy should be booming, not crime. If you're gonna take time out, you should try to do something fucking positive. How do you want the future to be for your young? They obviously, at some point, they need to get on without us. They need to be taught how to function in the world without us one day. How are they supposed to do that if this is all they grow up around? Imagine what the world's gonna be like when we're all gone and they're just here to fend for themselves. Kind of makes you think. Well, I'm gonna leave that issue on that. That's all I got to say about that. And that's the bottom line, because I said so. Anyway, thanks guys for listening. On a serious note, again, please do be careful out there, man. Live every day like it's your last. And may the force be with you. Subscribe and share. Thanks.